This week in third grade, we are going to continue with our 9-week segment of animals and insects. And this week is going to be, our focus is going to be on a toucan. And toucans is a specific type of bird. There are 40 different types of toucans. And toucans are known for their large beaks. And their beaks can be one color or a combination of colors. Their beaks tend to be very colorful. Toucans are a tropical kind of bird, and they're just a tropical kind of bird that range in size from 7 inches to 2 feet long. And they can get up to 1.5 pounds, so almost 2 pounds. They come from or are found in southern Mexico, Central America, into South America, to northern Argentina. Mostly live in lowland tropics. They can be tropical rainforest. Most of them come from the tropical or reside in the tropical rainforest, which is why we have so much plant life like behind it, like where they live, where their climate is. The climate is really, they need a climate that is really warm and has high temperatures. Toucans are very friendly most of the time. They're very friendly. They like to be playful, and they can learn how to do tricks. They like to catch grapes from across the room. Toucans will sit on your shoulder, and toucans will also, if you have domesticated them, that's when they sit on your shoulder. And domesticated means if you you go to the pet store and you buy one as a pet, and that's when they're domesticated, which means they're a pet, and that's when they will sit on your shoulder. They will cuddle up with you in your lap, and when they cuddle up in your lap and get content, which means they are comfortable, they will purr like a kitten. Toucans have many advantages over parrots as pets. They don't scream or screech or make other loud noises like parrots do. Toucans' beaks are not very powerful, but they can bite hard. So if it was me, I'd prefer to own a toucan over a parrot any day. The simple fact of just having them curl up in your lap and purr like a kitten, I wouldn't mind having that at all. So we're going to go ahead and draw our toucan. And I want you to start with pencil and eraser. Whatever kind of paper you have is fine. And whatever your medium to color with, crayons, coloring pencils, markers, that's fine too. So first, we're going to start with the eye and work our way out. So you're going to draw a circle, and then another circle inside that circle, and another circle up towards the top, a smaller one for his pupil, which is the part he sees out of, and also for highlight, to make sure that you know that pupil has been highlighted. Also, now that we have our eyeball, we're going to take and we're going to start up, kind of go over to the corner just a little bit of his eye. You're going to do almost like a U shape a rounded off U shape. And bring it back around down to the other side of his eye. And then you're going to take a line and curve it around and connect the two. Then you're just going to bring this line straight out and start curving it to make that big beak. Because remember, they have really big beaks, and that's what they're known for, is their really big beaks. You're going to take that, once it comes to a point, take it back towards the eyeball. And before you get completely back to the eye, I want you to stop, leave a little space in there, and then take and put a curved kind of U-shaped line at the bottom of that beak, because the very tip of toucan's beaks are black. And I'm going to go ahead and color that in.
Okay.
And then I'm going to color in this part of the eyeball. So I should have went ahead and done that. But you can go ahead and finish drawing yours first before you start adding color. I'm just trying to get everything drawn and colored in one video. Okay, so now the next line, where that line stopped, you're going to start at the top of the beak, bring a line down, curve it out a little bit, and then back in. And then once you reach that point, curve a line back out again, bring it around, and kind of stop it where it kind of lines up with the bottom corner of the eye. And then you're going to take a start at the bottom left hand side of that eyeball and bring just a kind of a slightly curved line down, and then curve it back in the other way, and start curving it out for his chest. Keep on curving it out, and then start kind of bringing it on down straight till it runs off the paper. And then we're gonna, because sort of kind of, if you look at them from the side, it looks like their chest is yellow. So most of them's chest is yellow. They can be white, but I chose yellow. You're going to bring a line down from the back right hand side of the eyeball and curve it around and over to the chest, to the front of the chest. Now we can add the rest of the shape of the body. So you want to start kind of almost midways this section right here, and bring a line up. And once you get about to the top of that eyeball, a good ways up above it, curve it around and bring it down while curving it, and then stop. And when you stop it, you want to stop it with the bottom part of our beak, which we can finish that now. So from that beak, you're going to bring a line straight from the bottom of it and bring it over. And that's the only line that should be there. I don't know how to. Here erase that one. Okay. Now that kind of lines up with this line for the beak. When you stop it there, then you're going to bring a line out and on back, and it depends on how you've got it centered on your paper. You would just continue to come on down with it, curving it around, or just run it right there off your paper. Now, for these lines, so that we can distinguish or tell the difference between the feathers on his body, because his body's usually solid black, we're going to add in what would be like some shading to be able to tell the difference in the wing and the body of the bird's feathers. And bring some lines, curve another line around for the wing. And it's almost like a upside down U shape that comes closer to a point at the top. And then just do some wavy lines, just kind of curve it up and then curve it back down and curve it back up. And here we're going to do the same thing. Curve that, bring a line over and curve it up, and then curve it up again. Curve it up, bring it back down, and curve it up again. And here we're going to color this one in. And then we're going to bring another line in here. And then another line in here. We're going to curve those up and down, just like we did the ones before. And we're going to color that one in. We're going to do it again. Those curved lines up and down. And another set of curved lines up and down. And then just another set. And we are going to color those in. So we're going to go back and color these in. And you can leave however much space you want in between those lines, as long as you don't leave big, huge gaps, because it needs to be mainly black.
Teachers, just a brief announcement. I had my
Please
testing
excuse that.
training this morning. We're going to have our NC check-ins testing to begin October 26th. I will look forward to training you all probably the first week of October. I would like to say to the new teachers, you're going to receive an email from me this afternoon. It is about having an NC Ed account. You're going to have to create an NC Ed account, which is an account that every teacher has to have in order to participate in online testing. Now, some of you all are not in a testing grade, but you're going to get one anyway, because when it comes to testing, we're going to have probably every teacher to just go through maybe the first training, just in case I need some substitute teachers to help with training, or with testing actually. Um, so if you get one and you're teaching in first grade, don't get upset, don't be alarmed, and I'm not testing, I'm in first grade. It's okay. I still need to set you up with an NC Ed account. So just follow the directions in the email. It's very simple. If you have any questions, you can always contact your grade level chair if you can't get up with me. Don't stress out. Don't get upset. It's simple. So that's to the new teachers and the ILTs, okay? Thank you so much. Enjoy your afternoon.
Okay, now back to it. We're going to put a line here. And right here where each one of them dips up, we're going to bring a line down from each one of those spots. And in between them, we're going to draw some rectangular shapes. So straight line up, straight across, and back down. And we're going to color those in. So same thing on the next set. In between the next set of lines, straight up, across, down, and color that in. Straight up, across, down, and color that in. Now straight up, across and down, and color that in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and color this part in right here too, where his beak meets his face. And then I'm going to finish drawing the background, which our background is layered. This would be our foreground, the bird. This is what we have our concentration on, the bird. And we're just going to, because he comes from the tropical rainforest, we are going to add plant life. That type of plant life in the background, which would mean we are going to layer it under the toucan. Kind of layer it behind it, whichever way you want to put it. Layer it under or behind. And we're just going to kind of like those. This is one of those like tropical plants that is solid green and just has the leaves, the pointy leaves growing out from the stems. And you're just going to do those over and over again. Bring them up to a point and then back down. And this stem, the plant keeps going, but you can't see the stem anymore. So you just need to connect it to the bird, to your toucan. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. Draw that pointy stem, straight up and back down. And all these straight up to a point and back in. See how we're layering them behind the toucan? And kind of like they're in the background, because your toucan is the foreground. I'm going to layer this whole, just about that whole entire leaf behind the toucan. And this one's going to start out behind the toucan, behind his head. And those leaves are behind his head as well, because you can't see the stem. It's behind his head. Now I'm going to bring that stem on up. And then just finish adding in those lines that come out to a point and back in to that stem. Now that we have drawn our toucan, now it is time to color our toucan. And remember, I said their chest could either be white or yellow. Some of their chest is white. Some of them have a yellow chest. I chose to do mine in yellow. Just add more color to the paper and make my toucan stand out better. Then I'm just give him a blue eye. Just come around the eye this way. Then I'm going to come around my eye in orange again. And then I'm going to kind of go ahead and draw with my marker a space to leave to add a different color to his beak. Remember, their beaks can come in all different colors. They can come in one color or a variety of colors, all in one beak. It just depends on what you prefer. And I'm going to add some more yellow to go along with my yellow that's matching his chest. And for this part, I'm going to, because toucan's bodies are completely black, if you remember, I'm going to go ahead and go around my drawing so that I don't run out of the lines. And then color, go ahead and color him in. And if I lay that marker tip, if you're using broad tip markers, if I lay it over on its side, I have a better effective coloring more effectively, instead of ruining that tip and squishing down on that tip the whole time. Outlining again, and in here, depending on how big your gap is, you're gonna have to use your tip and gonna trace around so we don't go out of the lines. And once again, oops, left it, went out of camera view. And then just finish coloring it in. And these markers do bleed through the paper. So that's the reason why there's so much color. So if you use marker, be careful of what surface you're coloring on. You may need to put a piece of paper back there if you're coloring with marker. If you're not, then crayon's fine. Now I'm going to take, to finish off my toucan, so we could tell the difference in the wing and just the bird, I'm going to take and come in here and color these spaces in gray. If you do not have, if you're using marker and you don't have a gray marker, you can always mix it up. Use different mediums. You can bring in a gray crayon, color that in with a crayon, or you take and use a crayon and use very little pressure. Don't bear down on it. Color really lightly, and that way your black shows up as like a gray color from your crayon or a coloring pencil. You do that the same way. Now there's our toucan. So now all we have to do is go and fill in all of these feathers. I mean, all of these leaves, every single leaf with green, if you have green. If not, then you need to get to closest as close to green as possible if you have green. And just like the other picture, you're going to want to go ahead and finish all of these in green, and then snap a picture of it and Submit your assignment.